You're too fancy. Welcome to the Tech Aunties live stream. We're doing our Aunties Talk this morning in front of the Capitol Factory House. Hey, if you're just waking up here in Austin, Texas, I have a few minutes to get down here. I know I'm Gina Rosendahl, the CEO of Digital Sunshine Solutions.
And I'm Marian Newsom, the co-host and the OG.
Oh, that's right, you are the OG.
Yeah, I finally met the OG man, uncle, I guess you would say, yesterday at our live audience.
Oh, that's right. What was his name?
I think it's William Smiley. I think two really good cards.
He had good insights on AI and how, we had several people in the audience talk about, yesterday we were talking with Swati Bordy about, the unintended consequences of AI. We had several people that were like, are we really doing AI? What are we talking about here? So I felt very good hearing that from so many people.
It's so good to hear so many of your comments and questions. And so come on out today and join us. We like to be interactive and we love our audience. And if you're watching us on the live stream, drop a comment on LinkedIn and let us know what you think.
Yeah, maybe we can start with a simple question to everybody. Do you say aunt or do you say aunt? My mother yelled at me, by the way, for this whole thing.
Well, so I don't really know, so I use them interchangeable. When I talk about, I have 4 of the most fabulous aunts in the world. So I call them aunts. Sometimes I say Amy.
Yeah, my Amy.
Yeah, my nephew calls me Amy.
Okay.
I think it's a cultural thing.
It's definitely a Southern thing too, because that's the same with me. I say aunt. My mama got who probably listening on the live stream. I'm mad at me. Why are you saying aunt? But I had to remind her my kids are half Canadian and they have aunts in Bermuda. That's how they call them aunts. And so I just want what my kids say. So I say, even though they always call my sister Aunt Sissy. So that's where they learn to talk. So that's what they say. So that's what I say too.
So I think that's a great question for the audience.
Yeah, do you say aunt or do you say aunt?
And so I like the association with our podcast name because for me growing up, if we call someone Amy or auntie or uncle, it means that they were a trusted advisor. And I think that's what we
Product marketing, you mentioned that, that's what I do. It's about defining where we are. And so what are we actually talking about? So I mentioned you in a post I made on LinkedIn this morning. Everybody jumped up this morning and decided to talk about that Sam Altman quote.
Well, yeah, because they're kind of doubling down on it. And they're actually here at South by Southwest.
Oh,
Yes.
Sam Altman's here presenting?
No, it's not him. I believe it's Peter guy. His second.
You.
And so it is picking up traction.
Great
And I think
marketing, right?
it's great marketing. And it leads to a lot of the questions about, is it hype? Is it vaporware? Or is it a ray of digital sunshine? But people are really split on
It's
their
hype.
opinion.
I think it is great marketing, and it's driving home what they want it to be. And I think they have, from a product marketing perspective, they've looked for a need in users, right? So you have business that it does take a long time to get marketing done. And I could talk forever about why that is. It's not all the time because of the marketers, by the way.
Oh no.
You know, so I could talk forever about that. So it's just interesting to me. The post I sent you, you'll have to dig into it sometime when you have a lot of time. Just look at it. Mentioned where it came from. Okay, so we should actually say what the quote is. So he has said that he believes that 95% of any agency marketing is going to be gone away with, because businesses will be able to do it with open AI. Of course, that's what he wants to say, but with generative AI, which is a ridiculous thing to say. That's my hot tea. It's ridiculous. But here is the tea. He was, I should probably find the article. He was interviewed for a book that some folks are writing.
Okay.
But they're actually not selling the whole book. They're selling it chapter by chapter.
Oh.
So it's kind of like this modern way, I guess, of being able to capitalize on their income. So that's kind of an interesting thing, right? But that's where he said it and why he thinks it. And it's interesting because he's not a marketer.
Right.
Not that sure if he's a product person, right? So a product person, like, where's the fit? It resonates with everybody because it takes a long time to do marketing. Lots of times you don't have the things you need in-house. So you will outsource it to somebody that's gonna record your videos for you, which is what we do, right? And
Right.
that definitely happy to outsource it to record ATX because they take really good care of us. You outsource people making images. Neither one of us made the image for Tech Aunties. We hired somebody and got it done. And it didn't take that long, but then again, we're not a huge business with a lot of moving parts, where sometimes it does take longer with agencies. But just the audacity to step into the world, and I don't want to sound like a Luddite, because I'm not. I use Jasper AI, which is tuned to marketers, and I use it a lot and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also a prolific writer. I have been for a long time.
Most definitely.
Very technical in my writing. And I can use it to help me soften the edges and make my stuff sound less like an encyclopedia, which is my goal. But it hits this nerve with, I want to get the marketing done and out there. I want it to change as quick as possible. none of this is going to happen without good data. None of this is going to happen without good data processes within the organizations and within the agencies. I think the agencies have already started adopting a lot of generative AI and seeing, how will this work for my clients? How can I use this in a way that's not going to leak any of their IP out? How can I use it that will make their marketing stronger?
Right.
And those are the kind of things I think that the practice of marketing is looking at right now, which is not wiping out 95% of the work.
No, it's not. And so I use AI. I use a variety of tools to just brainstorm with myself about different thoughts I'm thinking about, different things. I'm a team of one currently, and so I actually use it to brainstorm with. And I love the conversational piece.
I love the conversations you have with yourself.
Well, yeah, because hey, I enjoy myself, and so I really do. I love it for that. I love it for fact checking, but you still have to check the fact yet again and again and again.
Which is what you do with writing anyways.
Exactly. And so I liked the comment yesterday about that AI is a capability. It's not going to replace everything. It enables businesses to actually become more productive and really focus on those high value activities and that actually will bring money to the bottom line, instead of, okay, I have to pay, so many people to do mundane things.
Yeah, that's true. Because there are a lot. I have people to help me with things, but I have them for specific reasons. I'll give you a great example of AI. So we do a lot of case studies for people. And I have one client especially that she just cranks out recordings with her customers, and we just try to crank right with her and get those case studies to her so she can get them out. And so I'm really good at seeing the story as she's asking the questions. Just in general, I'm good at this, and being able to pull out a cool narrative where it sounds like it makes that customer be the hero in her product, right? And so that other prospects can see, oh, if he did it or she did it, we could do that too. That's great. So what she does is she does her recording when she goes and interviews the customers, and she's got we've got it into a really kind of good rhythm now. She asks all the right questions and sends me all the information. But the AI recordings are not great. And especially if the person that's being interviewed has a very thick accent, and it can even be a Southern accent. Let's not be funny about it. So like any kind of accent, the AIs just are not tuned well to pick that up. And especially in tech, that English is the language of communication. So we get people from all sorts of different backgrounds, being interviewed. I pay somebody to go through the AI and Englishize it so I can actually, I can pick out the story. But if I have to listen to the interview and understand first what the person's saying, I can understand it when they say it the first time, but it's not written down. So I have to go back and forth between the recording and find it. This is the only way we can do it. So I pay somebody to do that. And by the way, all the big companies do as well.
Almost definitely.
Right. They're cleaning the data with people. I know my daughter, who has an MFA in creative writing, is very attractive to the data cleaning work. And we've had conversations, and it's like, you're going to have to clean data, which means some of that data is going to be super disgusting, internet dirty. Like, it will leave a mark on you, and that might not be the best thing. Right. So there's so much bombacity in that comment from Sam Altman that it's just hard to wrap my head around, honestly.
Well, and you're seeing the comment everywhere now. It's like, once he said it, it became fad.
Of course.
So again, we have to decipher what's hype, what can be validated. And let's all face it, OpenAI is a great marketer of their product.
Oh, yes. And he's the chief one of getting that word out and getting it into people's heads that, he made OpenAI, and that seems to work really well. So obviously he knows all about AI, and he might know all about the workings of the weights and how we want to do things. But that's actually a really interesting line of thought, right? That's great that you understand how to make this product, but do you understand the unintended consequences? Do you understand how people are going to use your product, which is even bigger?
Exactly.
Where's my water?
Exactly. And so, yeah, we've seen that quote. The other thing you sent me I found really interesting was the impact of AI on the environment.
Yeah.
And so the article actually talked about the impact on water, which, being a Texan, water is key around here. We have droughts, and just how it will affect our environment and the water supply shortage due to all of the GPUs that it actually takes to process some of the
Right,
larger-
because they get so hot from
Right.
processing that they have to use the water to cool them, right? So to cool either by, I don't know how this article was specifically about a Microsoft data center in Arizona. And Arizona has a horrible time with water because they all fight over the rivers, and they all being Arizona and California and, you know, all that whole area fight over who gets water from the rivers.
Right. And so I found it very interesting, right? Because for people, a lot of their lakes are man-made or they're Corps of Engineer. And so to have that story really set in that setting where water is already a really precious and scarce commodity was very interesting. So
yeah, it's a little scary too, right?
Very.
Because especially where the water is going to be. I worry about it here in Austin. So I mean, we've got chip manufacturers coming. I don't know of any huge data centers that are going in Texas yet or in our area, but that's what will go there. You know, there'll be farms for the inferencing and the training and all the rest of it, which require the GPUs, which, you know, they're just too hot to handle.
Well, I will say this, if someone, because here in Texas, it always happens, or not always, a lot of the time it happens that Texas Public Utility Commission will tell us, oh, don't water your lawns, let's save the water. I really don't want to hear that you're taking money away from me, meeting my HOA rules, or doing all the things that I do on a personal level with water to actually process these large language models. So where's the priority for people in this new world that we're building, where we're 95% of the marketing will be done by AI, and now AI is going to consume our water.
Right. And the thing is that the reporter that was working on the story filed a Freedom of Information Act, and all of the values of how much actual water is being used by the Microsoft data center were redacted. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, why was that redacted, and why is that not public information? Because anything to do with the utilities should be public information. So especially in times of drought and with climate change, it's a huge deal. Like, why are we more concerned with this, you know, yeah, it's cool new technology, but like, are we going to figure out how to use it a little more efficiently? And I know that's one of the big things that the chip makers are working on. I know that's something that Intel, you're going to see a lot of go-to-market with that. That's the thing that they can control when it comes to that's one of the things they can control when it comes to, you know, diversity, but just the impact on the world of AI.
And so for me, as an ethical technologist, the word there that really stuck out to me in what you said was redacted.
Yeah.
So is it really ethical for our public utility companies to be redacting information that we actually need, not only in the environment? I actually read another article on LinkedIn this morning about the impact of how they redact certain facts about data in politics in our election process when people ask for those Freedom of Information Acts for there too.
It's interesting why they redacted. And you know, I always thought things were redacted for security reasons. So that's the first thing my head goes to, like, you know, national security, whatever, or security of, I guess, the data center. But this is a for-profit data center. It's not, unless it's being used for the government and military. I don't know, you know. So I think, you know, I don't think it's right for water. Water is life. Water is required for life, and it is a human right. It is not something that should be a product, and there shouldn't be a market for it, but there absolutely is. And it's dangerous. It's so dangerous, because the people that will be impacted first, of course, are the people that don't have anything. If something were to be like, do we share the water, or do we keep running these GPUs? It's not going to be in the people's favor, because there's no money, especially where they put these data centers way out in the country. They're the first ones that'll get hit by it, and it's a little messed up, you know.
It's very messed up. And so again, where do we keep My opinion, for all it's worth, and it's worth a lot to me in the tea, it just seems that we're entering a new landscape in tech, not only in tech, but really understanding the impacts of tech for good and tech that's for profit's sake. And I think as we start to really deal As you can tell, I enjoyed South by Southwest last night, and thanks to everyone who I met. But as we start to dive deeper into these subject matters, the real ethics of it and how things are marketed. So we talked earlier in the week about the fluff marketing versus the technical marketing, and I think today's guests will talk about AI in healthcare. And so when I think about where I really don't want to hear the fluff, I want to understand the technology. I want to understand its impacts to me as an individual, so I can understand how to actually utilize that capability of AI. And there's a couple of areas I really want to hear the real truth. I want the companies to spill the tea. I don't want the fluff marketing. So healthcare would be one. Our public utilities would be another. Financials, and definitely national elections.
For sure. So you're not going easy on Ganesh today.
I'm actually looking forward to hearing about Ganesh because AI in healthcare is a real passion for me. I see where it is a digital ray of sunshine in its predictive capabilities, and also in how you can enable the use of AI for people with chronic health issues. And even just recently, and the security of that data. We've had some really big breaches and cyber attacks that the latest one actually kept people from actually getting their medicines.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
And so when you think of people who have to have daily meds, that's huge.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yes.
For sure.
So that attack, that cyber attack really does affect day-to-day lives. And is the tech for good? Absolutely. But are we securing it from attack? And are we actually holding people's data private?
Right. It's going to get harder and harder, I think.
Right. And so I think healthcare is one of the areas where knowledgeable consent, understanding what you're actually signing away your data for, is one that we really need to raise awareness. We really need to form communities that go out and educate people who may not have such a long history in tech as you and I do to understand that impact.
Well, I mean, even with us, so my insurance provider is always sending new things to try out, right? Mm-hmm. And I could sign up and get a free blood pressure monitor. I was like, okay, I need a new one. And we'll see how it goes. Should be able to hook it to my, my devices that I have, because blood pressure, taking my blood pressure every day, I'm so bad at it. But like, if I do it like the week before I go see my doctor. And then she's like, where's the rest of it? Like I would, if I could do it, like my scale is connected to my Fitbit, so it's all connected together. Even though Google tried to take it off because it's not a Google scale, and Google bought Fitbit, that was pretty evil, Google. It's taking me back to the reader days, which broke my heart. Only reason I'm on Google. Anyways, that was my sad tea. But I got it, and there's no way for me. There's no Bluetooth, so it's not able to connect. It only goes back to it's Teladoc, I think, is where it's working with. I'm like, you just want my data, but I need my data to connect to all my other stuff to give to my doctor. I don't want it just on your portal. I want it in my portal that I've got everything else set it up and everything's pointing to. That's what I want. So I don't use it. Like, I don't know how to send it back or anything. I haven't really tried really hard because I'm too busy, but and now I still need a new blood pressure monitor, and hopefully she's not listening. I totally don't take my blood pressure as much as I'm supposed to. But those are the kind of things that you think about. Like, I might not mind giving you my blood pressure data, but I don't know if I mind or not, because I trust my doctors. I have doctors who are independent and aren't part of the big conglomerates. And so they're not required to adhere to the things that big conglomerates say, the rules they have to follow, all the different tests they have to make me do or won't let me do to find out what's wrong. They can go by their experience and what they see is the best thing to do. And I trust them because of that. And I worked really hard to find the doctors that I have. Right. So I don't want all my data just sucked away. I want to give my data to my doctors.
Most definitely.
And that's if sharing my blood pressure, my daily blood pressure readings are part of a big study, then give me more than if you're going to give me a blood pressure machine, at least let it have Bluetooth on it so it can connect to my rest of my stuff. Let me have my product mind starts thinking about why are they doing this? And why can't I do what I want to with because then I would have to write down my blood pressure anyway and put it in the app that I like to use.
Exactly.
And that's a pain in the butt. And I'm not doing it. Then I just got mad and said, I'm not taking my blood pressure anymore. And I'm like, oh God, I got the doctor next week. She's going to yell at me.
And so healthcare is one of the areas where you go to the doctor and he starts to read off your lab reports and say, I would recommend you get a blood pressure monitor or do this. And it's one of the few areas we think, oh my God, we kind of panic. Oh my God, I really need to do this.
Because they tell you
I could be dying here and I really do want to give. And so it's one of the areas where, although the consent is you give it freely, there's a little duress sometimes internally to just say yes. Yes, exactly. I want my monitoring. Yes, I want you to understand what's going on with my body internally.
Right.
Because I am out here doing what I do at South by Southwest. I'm out here eating and I'm out here drinking and I'm out here carousing. And so, I definitely want you to
You're out there what?
to tell me what is the impact on my body and the illnesses that I currently manage.
Well, you could explain the carousing to us and we could give you our unofficial opinion.
Do you really think that I would consent to that, first of all? I know you know me better than that.
Well, at least I asked for consent. I thought I would. I want to go back to something real quick because I'm not seeing any signs that we got to go. I want to go back. I'll get off this topic altogether before we get in trouble. I want to go back to the, tech for good, tech for evil thing. You know what it reminds me a lot of is of IBM back in World War II. And that's really where AI started. It's all starting, everything started to get digitized and things. And for our audience, if you have not read, it's IBM and the Holocaust, I think is what it's called.
I don't remember the title, but we'll be sure to put that.
You'll put in the notes.
Link up in the notes.
There's that, and then there's a Think Black book that's from a guy who was a second generation IBMer. His dad was the first SE ever hired at IBM. But it's a fantastic book. But they, especially the second one, because I think he was an SE as well, but he a sales engineer. But that's how I learned about IBM and the Holocaust, was from that book. But the IBM and the Holocaust book it described how IBM continued to sell to Nazi Germany during the Second World War. And the way that they did it is that they made different regions. And I was just like, oh my God, that's how we do EU now. That's why we have headquarters it's exactly the same structure that they did to get around the ban on being able to sell to Nazi Germany. And because they sold to Nazis, they sold their mainframes to Nazi Germany. Where do you think people's identification numbers came from? What do you think they were? That was their identification number in the mainframes. And that's how they were able to run a program and find out where everybody was living. Because they did a huge, when Hitler first came to power, they did a huge, census. And knew everybody's.
Started on censuses.
Right. So, So they did a huge census and they knew they'd input all the information into a mainframe, could run a computer. They knew where to go get people. When they brought them into the camps, they had identification numbers waiting for them. It was all digitized for the time back in the 40s. But the idea that that's definitely tech for evil. But at the same time, they were on the U.S. side fighting the war with the Americans, with their machinery and with IBM machinery. So, and the programs and everything. So we're seeing, that's what I'm starting to see. And it's interesting that we're here, at the Capitol Factory House this week, and a very different programming than the rest, I think, of the Capitol Factory this week. But a lot of what Google's doing is they used to be known by that category, Tech for Good, and
Mhm.
they're very much involved with the military actions, and we've seen some of their employees protest different things
Exactly.
because different events because of the involvement with tech in the war Israel has on Palestine. So it's just funny to see that. It's not funny, but it's interesting to see that pattern coming up again.
Exactly.
And realizing that the first time, the very first mainframes, the first supercomputers, right? Wasn't a supercomputer yet, but you know what I mean. It was it was digitized information. You were able to organize the information and pull it and file through it much more quickly than you would a human, which is what we're talking about again. So if we talk about these unintended consequences, what does that mean for warfare, and what does that mean for the world, and what are we stumbling? I feel like we're stumbling into kind of the same thing, and it's going to be all about this again, because that's
so I
is.
think that's where we get into when we say tech for good. I may define it one way. IBM and the big multinationals may define it another way. But what is the conversation around defining tech for good for the collective?
Right.
What is that balance? And I don't think we have enough of those discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into circumstances where, again, like you said, there are military uses, there are social impact uses,
Policing.
Yeah. And so even opportunities for education, as we start to see DEI efforts start to really be impacted by some legislation and some of the conversations that are being had, we really need to create communities where we actually do discuss what is that definition of tech for good, for the collective good.
I think it's important too, because I think all these decisions will be made for us. They are being made for us.
They are.
And if the ones of us that can see it, I think it's our responsibility to start having those conversations and let everybody else know this is what's going on. So when I'm just terrified of something cracking down, and it's kind of terrifying.
Which brings us back to Sam Altman. We'd love to have you, but it brings us back to your quote about what was 95% of marketers. Just the statement alone has real impacts on people who are actually coming out of college, looking at different fields. And so that statement from someone at that level of authority and that level of recognition in the AI really starts to impacts decisions on people's personal lives. If I'm coming out of college and I'm sitting there with a marketing degree, I'm probably thinking, I probably should stay another year or two and do something else.
That's okay if that's what you have to do, but stay and figure out how to fight the good fight. That's what my suggestion would be, But I don't believe I don't even think it's going to be rough for that long. There's too much going on. So that's kind of my gut feeling. But if you're just coming out of college, there's a lot of work to do. You'll find something. You will. Right. If this is what you want to do, then you'll be able to do it. Don't worry.
Right.
Oh, we're getting the boot.
Okay. I see our audience start coming in. We're getting the Sandman come on off the stage for the live broadcast.
Getting the hook.
So please check out the things that we have done this week at South by Southwest. They're on our techaunties.com website. We'll actually be recording our interview today with Ganesh. You'll be able to catch that. I can be reached on LinkedIn as Marian Newsom. Gina?
And I can be reached as Gina Rosenthal on LinkedIn. We also have a presence on Instagram if you want to find the Tech Aunties there. Of course, you're listening to us live on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell and make sure you know when we're going live the next time, and you'll know when we add any other kind of content to the channel. Would love to have that. And I guess we have spilled all the tea and brought all the sunshine for this morning on the spring forward morning. I think we did pretty good.
The spring forward.
You need some coffee, honey. Let's get some coffee.
I'm not on any coffee.
All right. We're going to fix Marian up so we're good to go with our podcast recording, and we'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.